A good
All
time.
right, so what is this camera for right here?
It's for my YouTube channel, Staying Salty. Me and like 5 other CFers.
Staying salty?
Staying salty.
What does that even mean?
It doesn't matter what it means. It's provocative. It gets the people going.
I got cystic fibrosis. See, I've got cystic fibrosis.
What's going on, guys? I am on the way to the gym. I'm gonna pick up a buddy real quick. Longtime friend I used to work out with a lot. And now I'm back in town and met up with him. So it's really weird though, because I've never like told my friends that I had CF growing up. So now they all know, because like, you know, hey, how have you been the past 10 years, you know? And I'm like trying to tell them like all about it and repping the apparel. Shout out to Taylor, 65 Apparel right here. Awesome Flex Fit hat, by the way. Get it if you don't have it. Anyway, so it's so weird because like I'm working out with them, I'm getting winded. I didn't used to get winded, so I'm trying to tell them like why and everything like that. But for those that are interested, I think he's gonna join me on my actual personal channel, Larry Bryan CF, and we'll do some workout footage together. I'm trying to make it more like a lifestyle channel as well instead of just CF, because I wanted it to be fitness when I first started, but I got more attention with the CF stuff, and there's so many fitness YouTubers and stuff, like I just didn't want to do that. I'm about to make a wrong turn, like this is insane. Anyway, I'm gonna go pick him up and not get lost, so yeah, I'm gonna stop now. Alright guys, so I just got back from the gym. It was a good gym session. I know I didn't film it. It's actually like really crowded in this new gym I switched to, so I'm trying to look for good times to film in there, but I don't know if I'm going to get to. The lighting's a little dark because the sun's kind of going down, but it's really nice outside. So me and Ralphie over here, Ralph, you want to say hi? Ralph, turn, look, Ralph. Oh, he's being ornery. Anyway, me and Ralphie are chilling outside. So I'm actually going to get to the topic for this week, which is switching and moving to a new clinic, which goes hand in hand with last week's topic, right? Because last week's topic was how important it is that you have a good relationship with your care team and your doctors. So say you're not happy with your care team and your doctor and you want to switch. So where do you start? You know, how do you find the right clinic to go to? And this is a really overwhelming type of thing sometimes, because you're gonna feel intimidated to switch. You don't know how to go about it. How do you tell your doctors you're switching? Things like that. And the way we went about it was, you know, in my history, I went to my one clinic in college, in my college town in Missouri. After college, I switched to my hometown clinic in Missouri, and we weren't happy there, so we knew we wanted to move. Now my parents lived in Florida. We decided we were gonna go move to Florida near them. And when I say we, I meant Jenny and I when we were still together. So we said, okay, we want to go to Florida. Let's find out how we can do that, how we can find the right clinic down there. And so Google is your friend. You know, Google tells you everything, especially when it comes to stuff like this. So we actually Googled cystic fibrosis clinics in Florida. Now we were going to move specifically to Tampa, Florida, but that did not mean we had to stick to Tampa, Florida. You know, we could drive an hour, we could drive 2 hours to the clinic that we wanted to go to. So Ralphie keeps looking at something. I'm like, what are you looking at? So anyway, so we found out like a handful of clinics in that area. Some were 3 hours away, some were 30 minutes away. There's one in Tampa. And so we got a list, like a handful of clinics that we could go to. Well, then we said, okay, how do we know which one's good, which one's bad, things like that. And a site that really helped was called forum.cysticfibrosis.com. And it's a site that's basically a forum, an online forum where people can go ask questions, people answer questions, and you know, it's all about CF. So it's either CF patients asking, it's parents of CFers, maybe physicians, I'm not really sure, but it's a whole group for CF basically. So we went there and we actually searched in the search box on that site, you know, Florida clinic. And we actually got a lot of good questions that we found. People say, hey, what do you think about this? And they're moving, you know, people in the same scenario as us. And that's how we kind of found the clinic that I ended up going to. My gym session got me. Anyway, so that's how we found the clinic I wanted to go to, because people would say, oh, well, you know, Jacksonville Clinic, a few hours away from Tampa, we didn't like this about it, we didn't like that about it. Or, you know, some people said they didn't like the Tampa Clinic, but overall, the Tampa Clinic got really good feedback, a lot of good responses about the Tampa General Hospital there. So we said, okay, that's step number one. We have a good understanding of what the clinics are like in the area. We think we want to go to Tampa Clinic, but there's one more thing we need to look at. And at that point, I was really kind of heading towards maybe a transplant route. So we said, okay, how are the transplant centers down there? So believe it or not, guys, you can Google this. I don't know the exact site, but there is a database of all the lung transplant centers in the U.S. And what their rankings are. So their rankings are based on how many they've done, what the success rate is, how large the center is, things like that. And so we found this database, which is basically a spreadsheet of all the lung transplant clinics. And Tampa General was actually one of them. And it was very highly rated on this sheet. So we said, okay, great. So they have a good ranking for the lung transplant. They have good feedback from other CFers about their clinic and their hospital stays. This is probably the one we're going to go to. All right, guys, my battery died. So we found out a handful of clinics we want to go to. The second thing we found out was what the ranking was of the particular clinic we were looking at, which was the Tampa Clinic. So the next thing was, okay, how do we go about telling our current clinic we're leaving, right? And that's always the awkward thing. So it's kind of like, I guess, breaking up with like someone, right? Like how do you say, hey, I just gotta go. But no, so we actually, played the safe route. We said we don't want to burn any bridges, because like ironically, we weren't happy with that clinic in my hometown, Missouri. But guess where I'm at now? Moved back to Missouri. I'm not going to that clinic, but if I ever had an emergency, that's the closest clinic I need to go to. So I'm very thankful I did not burn any bridges and say anything bad, like, hey, you guys, we're not happy with you, we're leaving. So what we did was we just said, hey, my parents retired down to Florida. We really like it down there. We went and stayed. This is the center that I'm going to switch to, but this is something we really want to do. We want to move down there. We want to switch clinics. And so that's actually how we went about it. It was very simple. As long as I had a clinic I was going to, I knew what I was doing, basically. I did my research. They didn't give us much trouble at all. And like I said, it was very important that we did not burn any bridges, because you never know where life is going to take you. And I'm right back where, before we moved to Florida, back where I was. So if I ever woke up and couldn't breathe or needed to call an ambulance, I'm sure they would take me to that clinic. So I'm glad I didn't say anything bad. So the next thing is, right, you have a clinic you want to go to. You already told your current clinic you're moving, and the next step is actually going and visiting that new clinic. So when I went and visited, I went actually on vacation to visit, and it was a really important process, because guys, seriously, it's going to be intimidating. You're going to be a little bit nervous about it, but you have to interview them. They're going to interview you and say, oh, what's your history like? Why are you guys moving down here? Things like that. Or why are you switching clinics? Things like that. And you don't really just want to, it's like a job interview, right? You don't want to bash your old company. You don't want to bash your old clinic. But you say, there's things we didn't agree about, and there's things that I wasn't happy with there. I just decided to try something else, and that's how you go about it. So very lighthearted, right? Even if you just absolutely hate them, just don't make yourself look like someone that's just going to go to a new clinic and just bash your old clinic if you ever leave or whatever. It just doesn't give off a good vibe for your personality. So when we went down there, right? So we went and interviewed there, and the first thing I said was, fill them out, right? Is how do you guys treat? Do you treat according to antibiotic resistance? Do you believe in synergy, to where antibiotic resistance doesn't matter so much? That was my value questions, right? What matters to me? My next step was, how often do you guys see your patients? Every month? Every 3 months? What if I'm feeling sick? What would I do? Would I call you and I ask for oral antibiotics? Would you guys require me to come in for a PFT? Would you say, screw the PFT and screw oral antibiotics? You're coming in and being admitted. What's your protocol on, if I call you and I'm sick, what do you do? The next thing was, what's your inpatient care like? And this was a very frustrating but very important response from them. They actually said, I said, what's your inpatient care like? They said, what do you mean? I said, well, I don't mean to be the greedy CF patient, right? But like, do you have big screen TVs? Can I order food all day round? Do I have to plan my meals out? Do you have snacks on the floor for me to eat at nighttime? How long do I stay? Do I take 7 days? Do I stay 14 days, 21 days? And their response was, don't worry about it. I said, what do you mean? I said, look, I've been in the hospital a lot, and I said, I really want to know. They said, don't worry about it. They said, we will treat you good. You'll be happy with our inpatient stay, inpatient care, but don't worry about it. That's not going to happen. I said, no, that's funny. I get it. Thank you for being positive, but seriously, what's it like? And they said, stop. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And of course, I really wanted to know, and I was a little bit frustrated they wouldn't tell me what their stay was like, but that's awesome, guys. Like, that's very powerful. That's like very positive energy, and just really, I was there for a year and I was never admitted. And that was the first year I have not been admitted in 6 years of, when I was getting sick and stuff. So that was a big deal. Looking back, I'm really thankful they took that approach. But yeah, so guys, ask the questions that you value the most. Ask about your healthcare, how they treat, what their protocols are if you get sick, if you call, if you come in, do you go through the emergency room or you get a room right away? To me this is important. But what's the eating like if you're a patient in the hospital? Do you get to eat all year round? Can you order breakfast at 9 a.m. and order lunch at 11 and then order another meal 2 hours later? Or can you only eat breakfast, lunch, dinner? And yes, I have been to a hospital where you had to plan your next meal and you only ate 3 times a day except for snacks on the floor. So it is an important question to me. But yeah, and then if you want to get greedy about it, like, hey, how's your blankets feel? How's your pillows, right? Things like that. But just ask the questions that matter to you the most. All right, guys, I think that's probably going to be it. You're going to Google where you want to go. You're going to find out what people are saying about it. I would look at the rankings, lung transplant rankings, if there's rankings that you can find about just their clinic in general, but I haven't come across that yet. Another is, how far away is it? That's going to matter to you. And then the next step is, okay, how are you going to tell your current clinic? Don't be mean about it. Just try to break it gently. You don't want to burn any bridges. And then the next step is, okay, let's go visit the new clinic, right? Let's go see what they're like. Make sure you like them. And remember, it's an interview process for them and for you. So make sure you're asking important questions that you really value to make sure you are happy with where you're going. Because just like last week, it's very important you have a good relationship with your doctor and your care team. You want to trust them. You want to be confident about them because you can easily be in situations where you don't have a say in the matter and it's life or death for you, and they're the ones making the decisions. So very important there. And then, once it's all said and done, if you have all those steps completed, it sounds like you're going to know which clinic you're going to. You're going to be confident about going there. You're going to leave your old clinic on good terms. You're not going to burn any bridges. You're not going to be mean about it. And that's it, guys. You're going to have a new clinic. Hopefully a lot better experience if you were leaving because you weren't happy with the last one. So that's how we went about it, guys. It helps out a lot. It is going to be intimidating. You're going to be a little nervous probably. But good. All right, guys. I'm running. My camera's telling me I'm running out of space on my memory card, so I'm gonna end the video here. I gotta delete some stuff so I can get ready for next week's video. But I hope that helps you guys. I hope you can get through the process. If you're not happy at your current clinic, please switch. Find someone you like. This is the best steps I can give you to go about it. And I will see you guys next Thursday for next week's topic. # stay salty, guys. Bye.
See, I've got cystic fibrosis.